everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie Nofel, and if you're new here, I make impractical crafts and lifestyle content. And this week, I've decided to take a lamp that I was given, which is not really my style, and tried to make it more my style by making it a Tiffany-inspired vintage-looking lamp. It's kind of a mouthful, but let me show you what this lamp looks like. Here's the lamp. It's, yeah. It looks really, really modern. It's kind of like the silver when I tend to lean more towards brass, especially around my apartment. So I have decided that I'm going to switch out this lampshade, and I'm going to try to make that lampshade appear to be more like the Tiffany stained glass. So staying in that botanical theme, I want to use this image that I found of these actual dragon, snapdragon flowers, and I want to try to work that into a Tiffany style lamp because my theme for 2025 is a whimsy, and I figured what better way than to try to make myself just a little bit more of Alice in Wonderland. Let me show you the lampshade. This is the lampshade that I'm going to replace this other one with. The reason for this is because this shape looks more like a Tiffany style lamp with how it all comes together at the top and it kind of flares out at the bottom, whereas the other one is just really cylinder straight up and down. I think that this will be a nice replacement for that, and also because there are more supporting beams within the lampshade itself. When I take the outside fabric off, I will have more to work with for attaching my plastic for the stained glass effect to that. This lampshade was originally given to me, this and a second one, for my mushroom hat video. I felt that they were too nice to paper mache over and wear as hats, so I decided to save them for something else, and little did I know that I'd be using it for this project, so I'm very excited about that. It just proves that you should never get rid of anything and always hang on to everything, because you never know when you're going to need them, even though many videos on my channel are of decluttering, because I am working on getting better at that. Let me show you how this lamp looks without this plastic. 1 second. Here is the lampshade. I am going to take off all of this fabric, and then using it, I'm going to try to make a pattern out of this shower curtain. We got it from Dollar Tree. It was $5, and I'm going to use this so that I can use this gallery glass that I found so that I can make the stained glass design. And then on the actual lamp itself, what I would like to do is I got some Rub and Buff, and I want to make this more of a brassy color, like when you see a Tiffany lamp. And then I also want to go and find some hardware, because if you look at a Tiffany lamp, they always have a little knob and like a little brass plate over it. And hopefully, if this all works out, then I will have a whimsical Alice in Wonderland like lamp for my bedroom.
So I went through and I tore apart this lampshade, and in some ways it kind of reminded me of that scene in Office Space when they're beating up the printers. But this lamp looked way better with all of its fabric on than off. Like, it looked quite sad without its fabric, and it made me kind of nervous. I did try to keep one of the sides intact so that I could use it as a pattern on my shower curtain later, and that worked out really, really well. You'll see that down the line, that it all comes together quite nicely. And so I'm gonna go ahead and jump ahead from tearing apart this lampshade. Personally, I found this liquid leading to be somewhat difficult. I had originally looked for this instant leading that the same company has, but I couldn't find it, and I found that I had a really heavy hand, and I was also trembling a lot, and I don't know if that was maybe a blood sugar thing because I was pretty hungry the first time I did it. But once I got a hang of it, it did get easier, although I would not be able to tell you which one was my first versus my last. So in some ways that's good, but it also means I didn't show any kind of significant improvement in my time of using this liquid leading, which in some ways is too bad, but honestly, I have a feeling I will be using this stuff again, so I'm not too worried about it because I'll have more opportunities in the future to practice. Another thing about this project is that you have to wait 24 hours for it to set, so a lot of it was hurry up and late, and so while it was setting, that takes us to day 2. Since it had been 24 hours and that leading had completely dried, I got to go in with the coloring and I filled it in. And one thing I noticed is that the color that it was going on versus when it dried, it was a lot lighter in the bottle. So most of my colors ended up being quite a bit darker than what you see here, which you'll see later in the reveal. But for now, I just went in and I kind of winged it based on how real snapdragons look. And I think they're turned out really, really cute. And unfortunately, my camera stopped recording, but I do have a different time lapse of doing one of these flowers, so let me show you that right here. While that was drying, I went through and I did the leading for the leaves, which honestly I wasn't super stoked about this design, but I didn't really have any other ideas. So I just went with the leaves to add a little bit more greenery to my lamps, and they ended up turning out fine. I mean, maybe that's not the design I would pick now. But with that, that takes us to day 3. Day 3 was a lot of filling in the leaves, and then also I painted the frame so that it would match the leading so that it was a little bit more hidden, but you'll see later that that didn't really matter anyways. Here are all of my pieces. I think that they are starting to look really good. I think that they look like a lampshade pattern. The thing is that I'm kind of worried about my leaves. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but they did not turn out the way that I was hoping they would. This green is really not translucent for many of the leaves, and I don't know if it's because I put it on too thick or what, but that is making me a little nervous. I can always go back in and I can like delete it and put new green in, and so if it comes to that, then I'll let you know, but for now we're just going to move forward. So looking at my pattern, what I need to do is plan the lines on the flowers so that I can go in with my filler and fill in the rest of the space to give it that Tiffany look. I am going to try to set them all up around the lampshade and see how it kind of all looks coming together so that I can plan out the lines. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in and try to line up the lines with the with the leaves as best as possible so that I can start setting that, and then I'll show you this stuff on this one. Just a little bit of a spoiler, but I put this part on way too thick on this first one. I am feeling a lot more confident in it than I did like 20 minutes ago, so that's definitely a good sign. It was right around this time of the process that I realized I missed my true calling of being a tattoo artist. So if you want a tattoo where someone goes, "Ooh, honey, you know you can get that removed, right?" Call me up because I am ready. Sign me up. Also, the whole time I was doing this is all I could think about. Whimsical. You will never hear the song the same again. You are so welcome. Hello everyone! Welcome to the final day of this project. Usually I'd have another day, but tomorrow we are heading up to the Capitol to go to the zoo. Here's the plan. We have a lot to do today. It's the moment of truth for this project where I'm going to put all of these around lampshade and hope that it all works out. We're going to see how messy my lines were when I first cut it, which I knew was coming, but I wanted to give myself a little bit of wiggle room so that I can attach it all. Then we bought this to convert the lampshade to fit on our lamp. Then, as far as the lamp itself, can you see Owen stealing my drink in the video? Then I need to rub and buff this lamp so that it will all tie in together. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start attaching these to the lamp itself. I have some bobby pins just to help keep them in place as we glue. So let's discuss kind of a fun fact about me. I have not one, not two, but 5 copies of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, as well as Through the Looking Glass, and they are by far my favorite books. I love them. So the fact that I can make an Alice in Wonderland-esque type of lamp is a lot of fun. But as I said in a note earlier in the video, there are no snapdragons in Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, and the garden actually shows up in Through the Looking Glass, although there are dragon snappers in Coraline, which I would consider to be in a similar vein. Once I had them all glued into place, and by the way, these bobby pins worked great. I was super happy that I had thought of it. It was time for the reveal, so I will be seeing you there.
Here it is! I am very pleasantly surprised. I was not expecting it to turn out this good. I think if I were to do this again, like if I were to restart this, instead of being this clear, I would do more of a white rather than clear, just to kind of hide the imperfections. If you look at the inside, it is janky. I mean, the harp that we got for the lamp did not work out. Hence had to like do some last minute, good old fashioned Boy Scout engineering to make it work. What's keeping this part up is like a little plastic bit that came from one of the bottles of the gallery glass. But I think that it looks really good. I am really proud of it. I might go back through in the future and rework it, but for now, I am pretty satisfied with it. It's going to be sitting next to my bed, and you better believe that I'm so excited to be turning it on and off and just have a little bit more of that whimsy, because I'm pretty proud of how my living room looks, but in the bedroom, we're still working on that a little bit. So, yeah. Thank you so much for being here. I upload every other week, and this upcoming video, I am excited. It's going to be a part 1 of 2, so make sure you stick around for that, and I'll be seeing you then. Toodles. Like so. Hang on.